Thanks for making a date once again. President Akufo-Addo is expected to deliver the State of the Nation address in Parliament tomorrow. Now, the president is expected to itemize sector by sector the general health of the country and outline policies and programs to facilitate the country's socio-economic development. Now, one of the key agenda of government has been to industrialize the economy. But what progress has been made so far? Ebenezer Sabte has been looking into that.
The one district, one factory policy. Development of strategic anchor initiatives as new pillars of growth for the Ghanaian economy, including the establishment of petrochemical industries, an iron and steel industry, an integrated aluminum industry, the expansion of the domestic production of pharmaceuticals, the establishment of a vehicle assembly and automatic industry, the production of industrial salt, the establishment of garment and textile enterprises, and the manufacture of machinery, equipment, and component parts.
Those were excerpts of President Akufo-Addo's State of the Nation address on the industrial front, few weeks after resuming office as President of the Republic. By 2017, the World Bank's industrial sector report showed Ghana had recorded a significant growth of 11.5% compared to 1.8% in 2016, and that was attributed to a stabilized power sector. President of the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, Dr. Edu Jemfi, says though this is a gain, much more needs to be done.
Basically, yes, we commend the government for how far we can be. Looking at even last year, GDP that we've done really has brought a change, and the business confidence has really improved. But we are saying that, Lord, there's a lot we have to continue to work at it. We cannot stop here.
Minister of Trade and Industry Alan Tremantin argues the 10 points industrial program of the Akufo-Addo-led administration will answer some of the key concerns of industries and thereby closing the unemployment gap of the country.
The government has embarked on a very aggressive and comprehensive program for industrial transformation, because we believe that it is through industrialization that we can maximize our potential for job creation. And one of the 10 pillars of our transformation agenda is to develop industrial parks.
Despite the growth, Head of Economics Department at the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Korte, has a piece of advice for government.
Seeing some positive signs, manufacturing is also picking up. But most of the growth, or a greater proportion of the growth we have seen, is coming from oil, and that is not good enough. I think as we continue to derive revenue from oil, we should redirect some of the revenue into investments in agriculture, modernize agriculture, and also some into creating the enabling environment for manufacturing.
Dr. Joseph Opong, president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, says the trickle-down effect is yet to be felt.
Last year wasn't good for business, probably because of the transitional period that we're having. Maybe contractors have to be paid before some of us also get our money from the contractors and all that. And then the new policies that has come and all that. But then we should also recognize that in transitional periods, these things can happen. So I'm telling the truth, for the past decade or so, government spending is not trickling down to the trading sector.
The Trades Minister, however, concedes the initiatives will take some time to yield the expected outcome.
Of course, these things take time. And I think for once, we as a country would have to appreciate that if you want to be in the big league, then you do things properly and do it properly right from the beginning. And obviously, that takes time. But the important thing is to have a clear vision and then also to have the capacity to put into action that vision.
As the president gets ready with the 2018 State of the Nation's address, Joy Business will be on the ground to bring you an update on the manufacturing and trade sectors of the economy.
Well, government has also been keen on helping small and medium-scale enterprises scale, but access to cheap credit remains a challenge. That, coupled with non-availability of suitable technology and low production capacity has also made SMEs less competitive compared with global peers. Ahead of the president's address tomorrow, we examine the state of the SME sector, which constitutes about 90% of businesses in the country.
According to statistics available, the SME contributes about 90% of businesses in the country to contribute between 60 to 70% of the country's GDP. Here in Ghana, it is seen as an important contributor to economic growth, but the sector continues to struggle to access credit to develop. Prince Ntiamo Bompon is an entrepreneur. He owns East Capital Properties, a real estate firm.
Starting a business in Ghana, I guess, it's not like what you see elsewhere around the world. One thing I've identified in that 10 years journey is that I feel that as a people, our concentration is not for our people to succeed. I can give you examples. You know, I'm a young man, I start a business, I go to a bank, and the bank want me to give them a collateral. What is the collateral? My certificate or what?
But managing a business has not been too smooth. He's among many SME operators who are struggling to remain in business. His expectations of the president are high.
I want to have a Ghana where things will be stabilized. You know, the dollar will not be struggling every day to do things. So in my space, like the real estate space, we used to quote a lot of properties in dollars, if you have noticed it. The reason is simple. If you quote it in cedi, I mean, within the time that you get somebody to buy, you've lost so much money, because the dollar will keep increasing and the value of your property will go down. So these are some of the few things I want to see it happening, so that there will be an enabling environment. I'm not saying government should come and put money in my hand. Create an enabling environment for me. Give me an equal platform where I can compete with anybody who is coming from outside, and I'm good to go.
Well, a number of policies have been introduced since President Akufo-Addo assumed office to serve as a boost to the SME sector. These include a $100 million National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan, tax holidays for entrepreneurs under 35. The National Board for Small-Scale Industries is also being revamped for that purpose. Mohamed Awali is the Minister for Business Development.
Government is started stabilizing the economy. The macroeconomic environment is very important. If you stabilize the macroeconomic environment, business can grow. You've seen that over the last 10 months, we are stabilizing energy. We are stabilizing energy. Now electricity is available. Interest rates are coming down. They are still high, but they are coming down. We've done the e-registration. Now you don't have to go to Register General Support. You can register your company from your house. We've done digital address system. All these initiatives are meant to create an environment to make sure that the young person, the entrepreneur, is able to start our business and to grow.
But is the effort put in so far by government satisfactory enough to boost the sector? Let's hear from Asabie Ejare Agbenu, CEO of Window Consult, an SME advisory firm.
I don't find a lot of people being affected by the special initiatives, such as those that I mentioned, like the NBSSI ones. But when you find, you look at things like Bank of Ghana policy rates reducing, it has had a direct impact on entrepreneurs and on small businesses, because between August and December 2017, you saw a rise of about 6%. So when you look at it overall, there have been some direct impact on the general scale and impact on the particular scale. But I do think that more can be done.
Expectations remain high among players in the SME space, despite interventions made so far by government.
While we are turning to the agric sector, where ahead of the State of the Nation address, some peasant farmers here in Accra are asking that their needs are prioritized as government carries out the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. They believe farmers in urban areas have a lot to contribute to make the initiative successful. Now, here's Charles Aite's report. He's been speaking to them here in Accra.
Peasant farmers here at the irrigation scheme of a Sherman are raising key concerns. They say they've been marginalized, whereas specific implementations regarding the Planting for Food and Jobs remain a mystery to most of them. We're currently here. We shall be speaking to one such peasant farmer who's called Uncle Ken, a 74-year-old farmer who's been in this business for over 50 years now. What are his concerns? What exactly is he expecting from the State of the Nation's address? We shall be getting answers from him. Uncle Ken, as he loves to be called, is a 74-year-old farmer who cultivates rice and maize in large quantities. He's been in this business for 50 years. To him, the Planted for Food and Jobs initiative has yielded less of an impact on peasant farmers, especially those in the urban zones.
We peasant farmers, we are being marginalized. Yes.
Why is that?
Because if you need something, you struggle before you get it, or you shout before you get it. They will not give it to you as you yourself you want it, but you have to shout.
Ahead of the State of the Nation's address, Uncle Ken expects a clear-cut direction on the fate of irrigation-led farming in the urban zones.
The Planting for Food and Job program is laudable, and I first thank the government for taking that step. But we face so many challenges. One, the distribution of inputs comes in late, you see. So, for me, I think they targeted those who are working on farming on the upland by rain-fed farmers. But we are irrigation farmers. Even the rain-fed to the arrival of the inputs, they arrive late. So they found it very difficult.
Right?
Yes, this is the army one.
So how severe is it here?
The day one, but this one I don't plenty, but here it is small.
Joy Business also spoke to a small-scale maize farmer, Emmanuel Ati, who's been a victim to the armyworm invasion which ravaged several farmlands in the country. He tells Joy Business that peasant farmers are expecting the president to address the non-availability of capital to small-scale farmers.
We need help. We need help, especially some money from to buying the insecticide for the farms. We need money. We farmers, we need money for the farm. We need money. We get money. We will do different types of this thing. But platform for food job, even now they come, so we don't know how far we will do. So we wait.
The concerns of these peasant farmers could be replicated across various farmlands in the country, especially when most challenges they face is a mixture of the right supply of resources coupled with the lack of a ready market. For Joy Business, Charles Ayete reporting.
Now, a healthy mind, they say, resides in a healthy body. That's why an effective healthcare delivery system and funding are critical to the growth of businesses and the economy. Still ahead of the State of the Nation address by the President, we find out the state of health funding in the country, especially when it comes to the National Health Insurance Scheme, as captured in Karen Dodu's report.
Health insurance scheme, since its launch in 2004, has had its share of ups and downs. This is due to some challenges facing the National Health Insurance Authority, which makes it impossible for quality healthcare delivery. With over 11 million subscribers under the scheme, we find out what can be done to improve the service. The National Health Insurance Scheme, which was intended to provide financial coverage for basic medical needs in the country, is gradually drowning in debt. This is due to delays in paying National Health Insurance levy collected to the authority, as well as how the scheme has been managed. This has affected a lot of health institutions in the country, with some moving to the cash and carry system. According to the National Health Insurance Authority, its debt position now stands at 500,000 Ghana cedis after some significant reduction over the year. Some subscribers under the scheme believe that a lot more needs to be done to improve services offered.
Sometimes when the drugs are expensive, the National Health Insurance doesn't cover it. Luckily, it covers my regular BP drugs.
Correct.
During the Kufuor administration, the scheme was working well. Now, I usually buy most of the drugs prescribed by the doctor.
I don't necessarily I was a minka because I drew on Dr. Beltram as a quaji.
Currently, there are about 11.4 million subscribers under the scheme, each person entitled to a service cover of $30 per year. This is, however, below the international minimum limits by the World Health Organization as $84 a year per person. Main source of financing for the National Health Insurance is 2.5% from both SSNIT and VAT. Chief Executive of the authority, Dr. Samuel Ano, has been talking about how funding for the scheme can be improved.
The numbers are an issue. The funding formula is a problem, it's not sufficient as the numbers increase. But for you to understand why the funding is a problem, you must understand that year by year, this 2.5% VAT and 2.5% SSNIT, over the past 3 years, works out to about 1.1 billion cedis. You have about 11 million members. It works out about 100 cedis for every member for a year. Now, we must understand that looking after health is an international commodity. So, starting point, we have to correct that and make sure that we sort out the financing model so that it will be sustainable.
Well, for some analysts, a more sustainable arrangement should be instituted to deal with dwindling funding for insurances in the country. Well, let's wait till Thursday and see what the president will say about this. Reporting for Joy Business, Karen Dodu.
And we will definitely be following the State of the Nation address with more updates for you in subsequent bulletins. Now turning to some other stories we are covering for you, and expect a new experience soon at the airport as the Terminal 3 of the Kotoka International Airport is scheduled to be completed on the 29th of April. The new terminal, which costs an estimated $250 million, will allow 5 million passengers a year with an expansion potential of 6.5 million passengers. Addressing stakeholders in the aviation industry at a breakfast meeting, the managing director for the Ghana Airports Company Limited, John Atefa, said the new terminal will improve services at the airport.
The breakfast meeting brought together various stakeholders in the aviation industry to deliberate on how to improve and develop Ghana's emerging aviation industry. Key among issues that were discussed was the state of the Kotoka Terminal 3, which the managing director of the Ghana Airports Company, John Atefa, assured will be completed by the 29th of April.
We are very much on track for Terminal 3. And for those who don't know, now we have the boarding bridges in place. The whole place is tiled. The baggage handling system has been fixed. The lifts are in. We expect that by the end of the month, the car park should be, the asphalt should be in place for the car park. They're now working on the road connection, and therefore we are very hopeful that come April 29th, the contractor would have finished the construction. One will be left with the commissioning phase.
On the issue of the nation's domestic air travel being serviced by only one carrier, the Minister for Aviation, Cecilia Dapa, explained that plans are far advanced to help fix the challenge.
I believe we have a number of plans in the pipeline. Normally, I don't want to talk about them before they are up to the final stages, but plans are on board. Plans are going on to make sure we have other systems to support our.
On his part, the Director General for the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Simon Alote, added that the regulators constantly upgrading technology at the various airports, all towards improving service delivery.
We have recently upgraded our HF communication systems, which is used for long-range communications between the pilots and the air traffic controllers. We've also installed a new VSAT equipment, which is coupled with VHF radios for extended range communications. So over the ocean, pilots are able to talk to air traffic controllers. We've upgraded the main air traffic management system at KIA. We've installed state-of-the-art systems. We've not left the regional airports out. Kumasi, Tamale, I've seen a lot of investments. We've installed instrument landing systems above Kumasi and Tamale. I'll talk a bit about that. And the new VHF radios, new automatic weather observation systems, The control towers have been refurbished with state-of-the-art equipment, and things are going pretty well.
Joy Business also got some reactions from some operators.
I think meetings like this, where the operators, the government and the airport are sitting together, I think this is very good, that at least we have an understanding of each other's problems. Nice to have an understanding, but it will also be nice if policies are being taken out. One of the things I saw now is if you saw the insurance issue with airport passes, the minister decided that every airline applying for an airport pass will get an airport pass, and the premium or the insurance will be discussed later on. Now, I think these are issues I'm waiting for. We have now a minister who can take decisions. She took a decision on the spot, and we're already talking weeks about it, and it took her 5 minutes to decide. Now, don't you think that is nice? Compliments for the minister.
The aviation breakfast meeting was held under the theme, The Role of Airlines in the Creation of an Aviation Hub. Sheila Tamaklu for Joy Business.
Well, it's Wednesday and it's time to bring you the Joy Business Van. This month of February, we are putting the spotlight on SMEs in the cocoa industry, and we're kicking off with Ghana's only organic cocoa buying company, Yaira Glover. Its owner, same name, has been letting us in on the business and how he is making cocoa farmers earn extra bucks. Odilia Ntiamwa is in the driving seat.
Years, cocoa farmers in the eastern and Volta regions get better pay for their cocoa. Why? The reason is simple. They grow organic cocoa, which gets them 40 cedis more on every bag. I'm at Suhum to meet Yaira Glover, the man who is engaging 10,000 farmers for this purpose. February is the cocoa month, and today on the Joy Business Van, we're taking a look at the issues relating to cocoa. Who are the producers? Who really make it happen? And the whole processing thing. The issues relating to premium cocoa, that's cocoa that is just different, that goes to specialized people. I'm even gathering that some of this cocoa go as far as the White House. Well, today with me to really be delving into the issues is the CEO of Yaira Glover that does organic cocoa. Yaira, where are you hiding? Come.
Hi.
Okay.
How are you
doing? Good. Organic cocoa is making farmers more money than the conventional cocoa farmer. This extra money is given to farmers when they are out of the usual cocoa season.
What we actually do is that we pay premiums to the farmers. That is what Niche is paying. They pay 600 Ghana cedis more per metric ton. You know, and this premium is actually given to farmers. You know, farmers earn 40 Ghana cedis more per bag.
Say,
the help that they have provided me has helped me a lot. It has helped me grow more cocoa. So even when the cocoa season is over, I still get bonuses to take care of my farm.
Yaira Glover's cocoa ended up in the White House during the Obama administration, but he says that that's not enough. The value for the cocoa industry currently stands at $146 billion, and Ghana and Ivory Coast, who are 70% producers of cocoa, only gets 5 to 6 billion of the revenue because they are not major processors.
Produce about 60% of these beans actually get 5 billion. So we sincerely think that processing could actually help Ghana gain more. So we have started this project with Niche. Niche and Yaira Glover are now collaborating to make sure that cocoa actually can be produced locally and processed locally for export.
Yaira Glover currently has a collaboration with Niche Cocoa, Ghana's leading manufacturer of cocoa. the company pays the premiums of the farmers and trains extension officers. No wonder Ghana's cocoa is acclaimed as the best in terms of quality.
That is the case because we, as a licensed buying company, just don't buy cocoa when cocoa is in season and just get off the farmers. But what we do is that we stay around them, we go to the farms, we educate them, we enable them to produce according to the standards that are really asked for. When you produce organic cocoa or differentiated cocoa beans, farmers must be trained to achieve that aim. So we really go around training them, and they have actually doubled their yields in some cases.
So far, Yara Glover's organic cocoa is used to produce organic chocolate for Fair Freak, a company that believes if the rest of the world wants to practice fair trade, it has to be from the home country. But there are more challenges. So far, Yara Glover is able to only buy 1,000 out of the 5,000 tons of organic cocoa produced. That means that farmers will have to sell their organic cocoa, which could fetch them more premium to the conventional market.
Well, in actual fact, we're having a great impact when it comes to helping farmers and also developing them economically. But then our biggest threat is that our trade capital is never enough. We produce about 5,000 metric tons of cocoa, but we end up buying only 1,000 metric tons because trade capital borrowing in Ghana is very expensive. And that is just a threat. And if we are not able to curb this situation that saddles our efficiency, I think there's a threat to the impact that we are making.
If you didn't know how chocolate comes about, this is how it starts from cocoa. It's nice. Okay, so 12 of these beans could actually be making us as much as $5 on the international market. It means that if we decide that the farmers should come from here, we should produce everything here, and the factories should be coming from here, we will be making some $5. But the exciting thing is that farmers get more premiums if we produce and actually manufacture the things right here.
Odelia and Tiam are bringing us the Joy Business Van this week. And as we wrap up, I just want to remind you there's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. You can go online and get updated on all the day's business stories. My name is Darryl Kwa. We're back same time tomorrow.